final. Can you does it feel different? Does it feel just like any other fight? Can you describe it for us?
Oh yeah, man. It's good to be back here. In another finals. Every fight is different. Sometimes different feeling. Especially like already getting the belt and pass through all the injuries that I had in the past. So being here today is a very special moment for me.
Now that you're in the final round of the tournament, how did you like the way they did it this time? You just got to win in advance, no points. Did you like that format better, or did you prefer the points?
To be honest, for me, it's kind of the same. Like I just wanna go there, fight, win the fight, and pass to the next. This is more like similar how how used to be in jiu-jitsu, for example. So I'm used to this, and maybe this way is a little better.
Obviously, after this fight, there's talk about what happens in the future. Maybe Corey Anderson, maybe someone like Doublet. Have you let yourself think about which matchup you would prefer if you win this one?
I don't want. I'd love not to fight David because he's a great friend. So we train a lot together. We always helping each other. But to be honest, like I just thinking about my next fight. Just thinking about Sullivan and what's for the future is in the future. I don't like to stress myself thinking about it.
Do you feel like your experience in the tournaments and everything is going to be the difference when you get out there with Sullivan?
Yeah, I think can make a big difference. On this fight, he doesn't have a lot of fights. I passed through a lot of things in MMA, in the sport, and in the fights. And some things you just learn by experience. I had a lot of mistakes in my career, and I just learned like doing these mistakes. Or doing the right thing, and with the experience that I have. So I think it's gonna be a good point for me.
And finally, what do you think of Sullivan's game and what he brings to the table as an opponent?
I think he's pretty well-rounded guy. He's pretty good, like wrestler, good boxing. He throws some kicks too. I think he's gonna try to mix it up, but definitely he's gonna try to stay like more on top and throw some boxing. I see he do a lot of this on his past fights. Uh, he can try to take me down, try to control a little bit, but he don't wanna be like a long time in the ground with me, I think. Thanks, man.
Antonio,
Yeah.
you obviously a former champion coming into this fight. How do you feel like that championship experience gives you an advantage?
Yeah, as I said, some things you just learn by experience. I had a lot of mistakes in my career. I did a lot of like wrong stuff on some fights. Some of them cost my victory. And that's why I think the experience is so important. He doesn't have a lot of experience, and I gonna, use that in my favor.
Did you see anything that he had or that he was disadvantageous against his last opponent, Phil Davis, that you maybe want to exploit?
Phil Davis is not a jiu-jitsu guy. He took him down, but he didn't like, how do I say, work a lot in the ground. He just tried to hold him, and he didn't work on his jiu-jitsu, so he could get up and work on his like striking. With me, I'm gonna have more like jiu-jitsu to work in the ground.
You won the $1 million before. Is this one just going into the savings?
Yeah, man, this one I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna invest in some stuff. To be honest, at this point, it's not just about the money. It's more about the achievement.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks so much, man.
I have a question. Yes. Every time you get into the ring, there's always a sense of unknown. You don't know what's going to happen, how it's going to end. How do you prepare mentally for every round or every next fight?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat?
Every time you get into the ring, you have no idea how it's going to end. There's a sense of getting to the unknown. How do you get ready mentally for every fight?
Yeah, right. So, you don't know what's gonna happen, but you prepare yourself to go in the best way. You gotta prepare yourself at the gym. Train yourself. Try to bring the fight to your universe. And makes things more similar to what you did in the gym, you know. And besides that, you can control. What you can control is like, is on the God's hands, and I live with him.
I remember speaking to you a couple of years ago. You'd actually just done Big Brother in Brazil. And
Yeah.
you said like life was so different. You couldn't leave the street without people coming up to you, and you know it was a new thing for you. Is it still like that in Brazil for you?
Yeah, there's a lot of this in Brazil. Yeah, you know, Big Brother is a pretty like big show in Brazil. A lot of people watch it. It's the most watched like reality show in the world. It's crazy, man. It's unbelievable how was it, but it was a pretty nice experience.
Do you feel like you've gained a lot of new fans from that who are now carrying on to watch your career?
Yeah, a lot of people like who doesn't watch it like MMA before, now they like watching in PFL, watching MMA, understand about this universe. It's pretty nice to see it.
How did you find it watching yourself back on TV? Did you like it, or did you?
It's weird, man. It's kind of weird, you know, to look myself at the TV on the reality show. I don't know. It's kind of weird, you know.
Obviously, MMA and fighting is what you do most. There was also a time where you said you'd be open to maybe fighting Jake Paul if he came over to MMA. He looks like he's now going to, or wants to fight Alexander Usyk, the great boxing champion. Does that change your plans at all?
To what? Sorry.
The fact that Jake Paul now wants to try and fight Alexander Usyk in MMA, you want.
He's gonna fight MMA?
Well, he wants to, and there was once a time you wanted to fight Jake. So
I'd love to fight Jake, you know, but I don't think he willing to take this risk, to be honest.
You think Jake actually fights MMA, ends up fighting, or is he just talking?
I don't think he's gonna fight MMA. He's just talking. Yeah, I don't think he got this, you know, the balls, you know, the thing that he needs to fight MMA.
Yeah. Is that annoying because, you know, it almost uses like piggybacks the name of MMA to, you know, promote himself, I guess?
No, he's a smart guy, you know. He's doing what is right for him, you know. Don't bother me at all. I just wanna do my job, but I'd love to fight him.
Yeah.
Would be good.
what about mixed rules, MMA and boxing come together?
I kind of like it, you know. You see a lot of guys going to boxing, you know, trying to promote themselves, make some good money. So I think it's a good stuff. I love boxing, you know. I train with a lot of boxing guys in Brazil. There is Robson Conceição, Herbert Conceição. They both like Olympic champions. Robson was a world champion. It's good to exchange experience with them. I love boxing, so I think it's cool.
And just real quick, you have so much experience at this point, like you fought so many different styles that, I mean, you've almost seen it all, right, in terms of all the martial arts and stuff. Is there an opponent from your past that you would compare Sullivan Cauley to?
To compare Sullivan Cauley?
Yeah, like similar style.
Man, I got to remember, I fought so many guys, you know. There's a lot of guys. You see, Tim Bolt was a wrestler with a good boxing, but Sullivan moves a little more. Man, I gotta remember Vitor Miranda, you know, the final on the Ultimate Fighter, but he also kicks a little more. That is a different like views. But there's a lot of guys like him at the gym, you know. Thinking about the past opponents, there was some good guys, but I can't really remember right now. There were so many guys.
Were you impressed with what you saw from him from his fight against Phil Davis? And did you think, were you expecting to see him in the final, or did you think it was going to be Phil, the one that you'd be fighting?
Man, Phil came as a favorite for sure, you know, for his experience, his name, and everything he achieved in the sport. But Sullivan, he's a very hungry guy, you know. I knew he was tough. Was not going to be an easy fight for Phil. I knew that, you know. Was pretty close, to be honest, you know. Was hard to tell at the end of the fight who was the winner. But I'm not surprised, you know. MMA is it's like that. Sometimes you're not like very popular yet, you know, but you're very good.
Yeah. And you're obviously fighting at a high level because you find yourself in another championship fight. So I hope you don't take this question the wrong way, but retirement, have you thought about that? And, you know, is there a chance that maybe you win the title, the $500,000, and you decide to walk away on the top?
I don't know, man. To be honest, like, I don't think so. I think I have some stuff to do yet, you know. But I think about retiring for sure. But I don't think it's gonna be now. You know, near future maybe. You know.
Thank you, and best of luck.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Man.
how much of a factor do you think that was in your fight night?
As I said, some things you just learn by experience. You know, just learning the fight, just learning by doing some mistakes, and I think this is a big difference. You know, because I'm not gonna do the mistakes that I did in the past, and he doesn't have this experience to like proving himself. You know, I think it's a big advantage. Thanks.
All right,
Good.
Shady on Zoom.
Antonio, Shady from Dublin, how are you?
Hey man, how doing?
Good. It's an honor to speak to you. You have a very impressive resume, and one huge turning point in your resume is when you got released from the UFC and made the switch over to the PFL. I have to imagine from speaking to other fighters that when you're released from an organization like the UFC, it's a huge toll on your mental health. It kind of feels like the end of the world. But from my perspective, it looks like your career only went up. You had a ton of success, both record-wise, and I have to assume financially as well. If
Yeah.
you can go back and talk to Antonio, who just got released from the UFC, what would you say?
Man, if I come back, and I would tell him like keep working, keep believing in yourself. You know, I almost give up. I almost like finish my career in MMA and start another stuff because it's so frustrating. You know, when you do not achieve like your goals, things that you dream about it. Some friends didn't let me down, didn't let me give up. You know, talking about Marcos Buchecha and Marlon Moraes, you know, they gave me the support and all that I needed to keep doing it. And thanks to them to believe in myself and make me like keep on this path was a great way to the top.
Wonderful. And I hate to talk numbers, but with the tournament, some of the numbers or the prizes are a little bit public. So I have to imagine, is it even comparable, the type of financial gain that you did in UFC versus what you've done just at least from the tournament to PFL?
No, man, I made a lot of more money in the PFL, to be honest. You know, my purse was better here, you know, and I also had the prize, so it was way better for me.
Well deserved. Best of luck, sir.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
Lorenzo.
Hey Antonio, it's great to talk to you again, and it's great to see you in the finals again. It kind of feels like so long ago that you first won the PFL tournament. A lot has happened in MMA since then, you know. Have you noticed any change in how you've been preparing mentally for these finals versus how you approached it 4 years ago?
Not really, man. I think I just more experienced now, you know. Was great in 2021, winning the World Championship. Then I passed through a lot of injuries and stuff and challenges in my life. So now I'm just more mature and experienced and, you know, ready to get another belt.
You've also proven to have a pretty solid chin in your career. You've not allowed yourself to be finished in a very long time. Your opponent Sullivan just says that he seems to think he can finish you to win the tournament. Do you have any reaction to him saying that, and do you think there is a way for you to use that to your advantage once you're inside the cage with him?
He said he's gonna finish me.
He said he thinks he can do it. Yeah. He said he's looking to do that.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat it again?
Yeah, he said that he thinks he can finish you. He has a great record of finishes on his career, so he's looking for the finish. Do you have any reaction when saying that?
Man, to be honest, if he's exposing himself too much, it's gonna be even better for me. You know, I see he's a guy who does it. You know, he walks forward every time. What is gonna make easy to take him down, work on my jiu-jitsu. I think it's gonna be pretty hard for him to submit me. You know, in MMA everything's possible, but I don't think there is a good chance of that happen. I think there's more chances that I'm gonna finish him.